Hello and welcome to our regular live chats, which we are having here on the ECA Facebook page every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. This is a part of a series which we call Hello Americas, What's Cooking? And we are sharing a little bit more what is happening with our members, associations, with our wider ECA community. It's a great pleasure to welcome today our distinguished guest, Rafa Hernandez from World Meetings Forum. Welcome, Rafa.
Hello, how are you? It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you here from Culiacan in Mexico.
Thank you so much. So you are actually on a business trip. You do know what a plane is, right?
For sure, yes. Fortunately, we are finishing today our World Meetings Forum Summit Culiacan, a 3-day event. And yes, with the pleasure and the honor that I have been traveling and working a lot to reactivate our meetings industry.
And that's a great segue into my first question. But first, before I start, I see we are having a great following from our Mexican members there, from Jair and our Mexico Chair Committee, sending greetings from Cancun. Thank you, Jair, for watching and saying hello to us. And thank you, everybody who's watching this live, as well as who will be watching the recorded show. You just touched on it. As a show organizer, for you, it's really important to go back to live events, right? So what is happening? You already know in Culiacan. I believe you also had some other face-to-face events already. What are some of your key learnings, some of your challenges? And have you been able to talk to your exhibitors and visitors and get their feedback on their comfort level to go back to that face-to-face environment?
Yes, well, it has been a great and exciting journey because since last year, 2020, August, we have the opportunity to make our World Meetings Forum at Los Cabos. It was almost a 300-person event, live event, and we have a digital component, but still, it was the great opportunity to have a live event. We were the first event in Mexico and Latin America to be on a live matter, connecting people together. And this year, this is our third event. We started in April in Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. We have a World Meetings Forum Summit down there. Then we have recently in Tampico, in Mexico, another event, a World Meetings Forum Connection, and here we are finishing our World Meetings Forum Summit. So the learning since we start making our first event and until today, we have been looking around how this great opportunity and showing everybody our goal and our commitment since last year was to help our industry, to help our suppliers and the buyers, the hosted buyers, the meeting planners, show to their clients and show to the authorities and show everybody that the meetings industry is one of the most safe industries, is the one that has the great opportunity to become and to come reactivating with all the purpose of making our economy move again. So we were congruent because we understood that some of the clients of our buyers told them, well, if you are telling me that the meetings industry is really safe, why do I don't see you in events? So that was one of the things. So when we start making that event last year, we have that important commitment, showing the leadership, showing that it was safe to gather together on a live event, and showing everybody how all these procedures that we were recommended to use, because when the pandemic started, all the manuals, all the hotels, venues, convention centers start making their own blueprints and how this distancing will look, but nobody really knew how it will work on a live event. We can saw everything on a blueprint, and it was okay. Well, this is our new reality, but with that will work. How people will be behaving on the event, how the timing of making people coming out of a ballroom to make sanitization and to come back and make all the procedure. So that was the most important challenge, and that I think was the most helpful thing that we made, because people in our events are looking around how can they come back with events. So in last year, the goal and the challenge was that, and also the most important and key component is the testing, all the testing. I think our reality until the World Health Organization end the pandemic will be continue making testing, making the antigen testing, making the PCR testing. As long as we can make bubble events, as long as we can make these kind of safe events, is how we're going to look our reality coming back. And I think this is one of the most important things that will help. And for us, this is our third event in this year, and our fourth event since last year, that we are looking that people are safe, that people are comfortable, that people are reactivating their businesses, that people are willing to make more events. And this is, I think, the most important thing. And in this last event here, and well, since Punta Cana, but in that event, the last component that we are looking in the trends and how these are working is we have now people vaccinated. So people are coming and they say, well, I don't have to make again my PCR because I'm vaccinated. No, still people that are vaccinated, the recommendation, and that will be as long as this pandemic era ends, we have to continue working on the testing. And that's how we are, and people are understanding and they are being logical about this. It's still that the number of people vaccinated is going up and up. We have to continue making and testing. So that's kind of the learnings. Also, well, in the personal side, in the human side, we understand that this pandemic hit us a lot in the personal way, in the mental, in the feelings, in how we as person and humans behave. And I can see a more connected industry. I can see a more helpful, more friendly industry. We are working everybody together, hand on hands, because as long as we see our mining industry, we understood that we are global, that it doesn't matter in what country. This pandemic was for everybody. It was a world pandemic. So I can see that people are changing in the inside, in their way of thinking, in their way of connecting with people. They are more open, they are more patient, they are really there to listen to you, and we are ready to listen to everybody, because it was a terrific moment for many people that were isolated. That they, I think every people live a different pandemic on their own way, but still, I think the human side in this pandemic was the big learning for everybody.
Thank you, Rafa. And I actually have tons of questions based on what you just shared with us. And I'm inviting everybody else in the audience, in the live audience, to ask their questions. But first off, I do want to ask Glenn's question. First of all, congratulations on your event. And then he's wondering, how many attendees are you having? And did you have a social networking element? And how did that work in this new environment?
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you, Glenn. Nice to see you. Hello. Well, yes, the most important challenge, our event, the World Meetings Forum, works on three basic components. One is the content, the conference, the keynote speakers. So we have to use ballrooms where people has to be there and listen to the speakers. In our events, we're working in both ways, with live keynote speakers and with digital speakers that are connected, and from their destination, they give us a great content. And second, the second element is our networking areas that we have lunches, we have dinners, we have cocktails. So those are obviously the most challenging, and mostly when you come to the night events, to the cocktails, because people with some cocktails they get more relaxed. But still, what we are working every moment, every place, is telling them that we have to be responsible, that in the social media they have to be responsible what they are uploading in their networks, because if we show people that we are not responsible, we can send a confusing message. But I think people are really embracing the way they want to see and work, because everybody's trying to taking care of them, because as we told last year, if you take care of yourself, you're taking care of everybody. So that's kind of a way of responsibility. And all the managing of the food and beverage is assisted by people, by waiters. So every place that we try to make something with food, with drinks, we try to make the most elements of people not touching the food. And still, you're gonna see that a lot. Many of the hotels are working with that. Their AV and everything are working with that. They are trying to help not everybody get in touch with managing food and drinks. We are working. We have to work with the sound, because if you have some cocktails with a lot of noise, people will try to talk louder, and with that you're gonna kind of speed. So some of those key elements you have to continue working, as we can see that many of those things have to be controlled. The sponsors and the places are sometimes a little bit hard, because when they have want to make a spectacular entry, and they want to make, we come to them and say, well, but you have to make the noise less loud. No, come on, please, because it's spectacular, and I'm gonna bring a horse, a white horse with. Yes, I know, and we understand and we appreciate all that phenomena, but at this moment we have to take care of the way we can talk. We cannot shout. We cannot make people get closer to talk, because that can be a risk. Even that, still, and I'm gonna share every time, still our events all the time, we don't have anybody coming in if it's not tested. So we have cases that we have confirmed person that were asymptomatic, and they couldn't come to our events. We have people confirmed, but that's one of the key pieces for these events. We can detect people that can be risk, and they don't come to our events. So that's how, as long as we can handle that. But still, every time we're telling people, please use your mask, please sanitizer. We provide in the budget of our events. We have to open a new line of the budget, because we have to include the biosecurity kits. We have to give them a safety mask for every day. That's the recommendation. So we give daily mask, new mask. We give them a sanitizer. We give gel. We make many of the kits that we need for every time. Our suppliers, our providers, we check them with the product list, with the chemical product that they have for sanitizing the buses, the cars, the ballrooms, the restaurants. So, and for us, every place is challenging, because we have, in our site inspection, we have to make a new list of everything. And we tell every supplier, this is the final list. You cannot bring me a new waitress. You cannot bring me a new people, because this is the final list. We cannot be on a risk of making a new person, a new waitress coming. If you have that case, because some waitress didn't come or something, you have to let me know, and we have to send that person to make their test. Now the industry of the testings are more efficient, more accessible in prices, and you can be more accurate making a testing. So that's how we are working the events. And well, all the technology is helping. All the digital. We are not giving a paper. We have all the agendas on our application. We have many things. The WhatsApp is working really good, because that's how now the conversations are working with all your guests. And the sizes of the events have been, last year in Los Cabos we have 350 people. In Dominican Republic we have 120 people. In Tampico we had 80 people. This event was in Culiacan is 110 people. So that's kind of the sizes we are working. Our big event this year in August in Los Cabos is going to be a bigger size of event. We're expecting 400 people, but we will continue making all the procedures, making using our biosecurity process, and we are certainly sure that our event will continue to be safe.
So you mentioned so many valuable best practices, and you also indicated some of the challenges to have that continuity of your processes in all the different destinations being adhered to. How did you put those processes in place? How were you guided by? Because every state in the US, for instance, has their own guidelines. Every country has their own guidelines. Sometimes every city has their own processes. So how did you get to that list and those tips and tricks? And my second question is, would you be willing to share some of your best practices with people and those lists of requirements you have for the venues where you hold face-to-face meetings?
Yes, for sure. Well, this was a really good job from my team. The leadership of my team was excellent because we gathered together all the manuals and all the information that was out there from ICA, UFIS, ISO, the health organization, many documents that were shared. So we brought those together and we make our final 360 biosecurity process from World Meetings Forum. And still, the challenge is that every place you go, as you mentioned, you have to deal with the state because some in Mexico, every state has their own way of managing the pandemic, and they have green light, red light, yellow light. So they with that you have to understand what are the capacities that they are letting you make in some spaces. You have to bring all the information from every supplier, because we have to understand how are the procedures of them if you have something, and especially with the hotels, we have to understand where is the room that they're going to use if we have some confirmed cases. Our DMCs, we have to have a support bus or car that we will travel for some people that might be contagious. We have to know where is the hospital that is managing the COVID cases every place. So yes, it's a lot of work that you have to put together in every place, in every destination, because all your surroundings of suppliers is the flowers, the registration, the DMC. So, but that's how at this moment is the best way that you can make your events. Your teams will have to go with every supplier, and my recommendation is ask for them even what type of products are using for the sanitization. We have to see how they are working their procedures. We have to know at this point. No, not many people will like to talk about having a contagious cases because it's kind of not talking about that critical moment. But for us, for the event managers, for the show managers, we have to talk everything. We have to talk about crisis. You have to understand. We want to be positive every time, that's for sure. But we have to talk to everybody. Where's the hospital? What if we have some contagious cases? We have to contact their families. We have to make many things that will, because the most important thing that every person values today for us in our case, our clients, our suppliers, our sponsors, is we need to let them know, and we need to make them feel safety. That's the most important thing. Every place that we will travel, the most important thing that people will like to know at this moment is that they're going to be safe, because at home, your families, your wife, your sons, everybody is kind of, oof, you're going to travel. Well, I hope you're the best, because we need to reactivate our business, our economy, but they are willing that they are not exposed to some complicated scenarios. But as I was talking to everybody, and I'm positive that this is a reality, the meetings industry is one of the most safe industries, because all the infrastructure that we are using, the airplanes, the airports, the hotels, the venues, every place, I think we are the most safe places. We have implemented, and I see this all around, we have implemented the most safe procedures for safety of the people. So I'm for sure, I'm positive that that's one of the things that people also are trusting in us, that they know that this industry is safe. For sure, last year we placed in our webpage our manual, the 360 Beyond procedures for biosecurity. And for sure, and if anybody wants to talk to me on a face-to-face or some specific question, I'm willing, I'm open, because as I told you, I think this is the most wonderful value of our industry, that we like to share everything. And if this is something that we can help for reactivating other events or everybody, that's for sure one of my greatest commitment. My commitment is with the industry, with the community, and anything that I can help and I can share, for sure I'm available at any time, and also my team can be available for anything.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Rafa. And you said that that manual can be found on your website, and we are streaming in your website details. It's wmforum.org, and they can also, I assume, get in touch with you via your website in case they want to talk face to face. Before we leave, I do want to have one last question, because we are in the What's Cooking show. So is there anything you want to share with our audience today? Anything about your organizations, your learnings, or anything about you personally, or maybe a recipe?
Yes, well, our organization, we are a group that is called Grupo Latin America Meetings. We are divided in three units. One is Latin America Meetings, that is our content unit. We have magazines, we have website, we have social media. That's how we work. 20 years ago, we started making content for the meetings industry. Our second unit is the World Meetings Forum platform, that we are making events, different sizes, different places. This year, we had the opportunity to add a new destination as Dominican Republic, another country. So we are working on making this labor in other places. And we have our third unit that is a really valuable piece, is our nonprofit World Meetings Forum Foundation, that we work for the inclusion of people with disabilities for the meetings industry. We have been working also in all our events. All World Meetings Forum have people with disabilities, including this Culiacan event. We have 3 people with disabilities working in our event. It's a really nice job, because we are helping people, because the number one discrimination in the world is the job discrimination, and mostly the job with people with disabilities. So that's something that we are working hard to change, that kind of perception. As we tell everybody, the job that we are offering is a professional job. It's nothing like, well, you have a disability, I'm going to pay you less. No, this is a professional job, a professional description with the same salary that you will pay anybody of your team. So that's something that we are really proud of, because we are making that commitment and that change. That's part of our commitment in the World Meetings Forum. And yes, the learnings that I have these times is like, it can be possible. It can be possible. It will require a lot of work, but I'm positive, and I'm glad that I'm part of this community, and I'm glad that I'm part of this meetings industry, because it had helped me learn a lot. I have made most of my value friends in this industry, but what I'm positive is that it can be possible. We have to commit to reactivate our industry. We can make it. We have proven, there are now many events that are proving that we can come back safely. And for sure, these are the times that we have to be more united than ever, because in every place, in every economy, in every country, we need to reactivate. So thank you very much for the space, for the time. I'm glad to be part of the ICA community. I'm glad that I'm former chairperson of the Mexico committee, and ICA for me has been a really valuable community, where I have found friends, I have found colleagues, I have found many things, many wonderful things in this association.
Thank you so much, Rafa. And what a better way to end this live chat today than with the messages of our industry being a big community and family full of inclusivity and empathy. And we'd like to thank you for joining us today, Rafa. So for everybody who wants to get in touch with him, we did stream in Rafa's webpage. Here it is again. Anybody who wants to join us in future, please feel welcome to also drop me a note at xenia.p@ecoworld.org. And that is all for today. And just time to announce our next guest for next week, which will be Jeremiah from the World Federation of Hemophilia. Thank you again, Rafa, and thank you everybody for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.